what we're doing, brother.
What are we doing?
Lions injury report.
Oh, yeah.
Did you throw it in there? Or
I
do we have
did.
it?
I did.
Perfect.
Whenever you get a chance, I put it in a little late. So
Interesting change of events here for someone on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Taylor Decker,
Yes.
out of practice today.
Yes.
I believe it was his groin.
yes.
So I'm interested to hear what you have to say about it, because we just said in the first segment, Lions are 6-0 with their whole defense or offensive line dominating, average like 37 points a game. Is this like what did you hear?
That's
in
a
Allen
stat.
Park
37
today?
points a game with
It's
their
around
offensive
there.
line.
Like before last week, it was like 37, 38.
Yes.
I don't know what it is now after this last win, but I'm sure it adjusted a little.
Yes. The unofficial word around Allen Park is he's still expected to play.
Okay.
So he was limited in practice yesterday, and it was a walkthrough. So take that for what it is. I think this is on a short week. He is banged up. It's week 16 or week 17, going into week 17, and he's banged up. So my gut, from talking to some of the other guys around Allen Park, is that he will play. He will play Saturday. They need him, but they're being extra cautious, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't practice tomorrow too, just to get back.
Let's get back to Taylor Decker. Let's just read this off real quick. So Brock Wright, no practice again today.
Yep.
Jason Kambinda, limited. He's back. C.J. Garner-Johnson's still limited. I'm waiting to see a full practice tomorrow, Thursday for him.
That's when we'll know.
I'm really hoping so. Tomorrow it's full practice. Derek Barnes, full practice. Looks like he is back. Jerry Jacobs, full. He's back. Frank Ragnow, full. He'll probably get a rest day tomorrow. And Penei Sewell, full. No issues. So really nothing. To me, it's just this Taylor Decker thing, man.
Yeah.
And it sounds like to you, like around Allen Park, he's going to be going. That's my biggest worry. I want every offensive lineman playing on Sunday or Saturday night, especially a short week. And he's been out for limited yesterday, and know all of a sudden
And Taylor Decker, I don't know if this has been his best season or his worst season, but he's still kind of an underrated player on this Detroit Lions team. And I don't mean to say that. I'm going to say this without trying to slander him. I think if there's any one of the big four offensive linemen, and shoot, you could throw Graham Glasgow in the big five, who you could not sacrifice for a game, but sort of fill in a little easier with Penei Sewell's ability to slide over, and so many of their abilities to play tackle, like Dan Skipper and whatnot. I think
still makes me nervous.
Yes,
I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like
that's sort of what I'm trying to weasel around that. Like it's a big deal that he's out, but they can weather this storm. You don't want him out for an extended period of time. You really don't want him out against the Cowboys because of their pass rush, but it is what it is. We'll see tomorrow if he comes back.
Doesn't it feel like you know how Frank sits out because of that toe? It feels like it's that situation where today it was like, hey, we're just going to sit him out for cautionary. And
it feels like that.
Frank rest.
It feels like that because it's his groin and not his ankle was banged up earlier in the year. I think his back was banged up because it's a groin. I'm not gonna go that far yet, but you might be right. I mean that is what it feels. Just all right, take the full day off practice. Don't even try to push it. They don't have to worry about Taylor Decker learning the offense or knowing what to do. He's the longest running Detroit Lion on the team, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and I do want to. A thing I kind of want to think about here, and I'm going to have to do some film and watch some stuff this week, is Micah Parsons. Does he just line up on that side?
No, he's all over the line.
Okay, so
he's left, right, up the middle. He plays everywhere.
That's different, because now if Taylor Decker is injured or he doesn't play, now you're in for all right, here we go, fellas.
I wonder if at some point in the future, a guy like Penei Sewell who can play both sides, if you have two of those. Well, I guess you wouldn't need to flip it. Imagine if you could just follow it. Like, you have your offensive lineman. I know you can't do that.
That would be nuts.
Yeah, you know how batters in the batter, you're allowed to switch like one time per at bat if you can bat right or left.
I mean, what would happen if you could do that? It would just be Micah Parsons running back and forth and Penei having to run back and forth.
That's what they had to do when there was a ambidextrous pitcher who could pitch with his left and his right hand, and so there was a clip that went viral. It was in the minor leagues of the batter would just keep switching sides, and the pitcher would just change his glove, and eventually they had to put in this rule like you can only switch once. You have to declare which side you're batting. That's funny. But yeah, no Taylor Decker today. Hoping he's good for Saturday.
This is a game you want him. Micah Parsons, you want him, and we're going to get into at 8:45. We're going to talk about this offense. I have a couple things in regards to the offense I want to talk about too when it comes to this game, but that's something big. I did want to ask too, while you were in Allen Park, vibes just in general. I know the vibes here are good. The Booner Path is very well alive. There are dandelions and roses growing on each side of it. I want to know the vibes in Allen Park. And I know I heard Ben Johnson say today, you guys are going to hear a clip later. he at the end of the clip, he was like, Dan Campbell made it very well known at the beginning of the week, we're moving on and we're going to Dallas. What are the vibes like?
Just that. Business as usual. They're focusing on Dallas. They had fun, I think, what was it, Sunday night celebrating the victory. But they came in, like I said, Monday off. They came in Tuesday ready to go, and that was the message from the beginning. No complacency. They got to keep moving forward. They're going for this 2 seed. Like that's the message. They won their NFC North title. Now they can control their own destiny getting the 2 seed.
Yeah.
They need some things to happen to go get that 1 seed, but if they win out, they get the 2 seed. And that's their goal. That means there are 2 guaranteed home field games at Ford Field.
Yes. Yeah, Tuesday. He said it Tuesday in his press conference. He was like, listen, like we had that question all last week. What happens when you win the division? Where does Dan's mind go? Right away, 2 seed. Go beat Dallas because we have a chance at the 2 seed.
Yeah,
he's very aware. Players are very aware. That's why I think they get the job done. Is because this team, like when they get caught lacking? Is that the term nowadays?
Yeah, you got it.
When they get caught lacking a little bit, like a random week like the Ravens or the Seahawks or like the Bears or the Packers, like it's just one of those weeks where it's like, hey, we might not have much to play for, but like we still need to win this game. They've got caught slipping a little bit. Now when you come into this week, there's something on the line. The 2 seed is on the line. When that happens, that's the biggest, I think, when this team shows up the most. Let's go to this next thing here, too, because I wrote this down. I heard a lot of people talk about it today. The injured reserve list. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Aleem McNeil, James Houston. What are the vibes in Allen Park? These guys coming back, like, are they playing this week? Is Aleem almost back? Because after this week, he's available. I'm correct?
Yes. So he's not going to play this week.
James Houston.
Not going to play this week.
Rumor was last week, though, he's going to be back at practice this week.
He might get his clock started this week, so I don't know
what
their strategy is. It will look, I think they're off Friday, but they could still start the clock. Although I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I don't know. He's not going to be playing this weekend. Still unconfirmed. I don't know if C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I don't know if C.D. Deuce is going to be playing, but we got to wait for that full practice. Like that, they just haven't. They haven't given that. Hey, they need him back, and they would need him back for this game. But the emergence of Iffy, the NFC North Defensive Player of the Week, how Brian Branch is playing, how Kirby Joseph is playing. This is totally just in my head. No coach has said this, but they do have the ability to take it a little slower if that's how they choose.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's the right thing or wrong thing.
I do get that, but like I was hoping, like, especially with like the James Houston one, I felt like from when that happened going forward a couple weeks into that, it was like, hey, James Houston probably would be back before C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That was kind of the vibe I took. So I was hoping, like, okay, Dallas is that goal week, to know that things are progressing correctly, that he's going to be able to come back for the playoffs. I was like, all right, Dallas is that week to maybe he starts to get in. And
Houston or C.D. Deuce?
James Houston. And we just haven't heard it. Like, we saw, like, a month ago, we saw him back in the practice facility out there doing work. And I was like, okay, this has to be a sign. Like, Dallas is in 4 or 5 weeks. Like, we're going to... Haven't heard anything.
Yes, but
have not heard anything.
This is where it gets... He's still on schedule. Like, I don't know if it's a week early or a week late, but he's still right where the expected recovery time frame was for his broken fibula. C.D. Deuce is 3 months early. Like, he tore his pec. He's supposed to be out for the season. He came back in 95 days, and although you can still a torn pec, the surgery just needs to heal, and you just need to get stronger. Like, you are able to recover faster, but it's now the recovery of his body going through a football game. I would love to see him play at Dallas, even if they are committed to making him a focal point, really working him in, get him out there for a couple series so he can experience this recovery now. He can hit some people. He can go through the game, warming up for a game, go through the whole game scenario, and then have this whole week to recover and see how his body recovers from that versus using week 18 as that.